George, let's talk about Reggie Johnson. And I talked about how well you know Roy Jones. Reggie grew up in the same neighborhood in Houston where you did. His father was what, schoolmate of yours?
That's right. We had the 3rd and 4th grade together. I could whip his dad.
So, you've whipped a lot of people, George. So you know as well as anybody the difficult path that he's had to travel to get here. And, of course, with Roy focused on so many different things, I mean, you know, you say it's not a distraction. Michael Jordan's at ringside tonight because he's Roy's business partner and they're launching a clothing line. It's like a perfect psychological setup for an upset for Reggie if he's ready to do his job.
The difference between a contender and a champion is motivation. You got to be motivated. You can catch Roy Jones tonight not motivated. This guy could clean him out. That's the only difference. Physically, they're the same. Mentally, they could be the same, but motivation. You've got to be motivated.
Because Reggie Johnson's a terrific fighter. He was a middleweight champion before he began to have trouble making 160 pounds. Eventually found his comfort zone when he moved up to 175. He's waited a long, long time to get this coveted opportunity to fight against Roy Jones.
My road has been a windy, uphill, downhill, uphill road, a lot of bumps that I've had to overcome.
Once a middleweight champion and currently a reigning light heavyweight champ, Reginald Johnson has never been a household name. Tonight, Reggie Johnson, a man continually with his back against a wall, plans to step out of the shadows of his difficult past.
Around 8 years old, his father went away to prison behind an assault case.
I remember being a little kid, getting the one traveling with my mother to go see my dad behind a big glass window. It made me feel sad.
And these were really hard days to him. He would become sometimes emotionally detached.
It was kind of degrading for my son to see me in this situation.
He would ask me, when is he going to be allowed to come home?
Home was the roughest neighborhood in all of Texas, Houston's 5th Ward. Getting out was the road less traveled.
We have the drugs, prostitution, the robberies, South Central, 5th Ward. You know, from one ghetto to the other, they're all the same.
One of my sisters said to him that he was going to wind up like his dad if he wasn't careful.
A misdirected 12-year-old then turned to his uncle, an amateur boxer, for some much-needed guidance.
We started in the garage. We just took an old Kroger sack, a potato sack. We filled it with sand. And he was really good, man. So I took him with me to the boys' club. He never looked back.
The one thing about that day, the minute I took those gloves off, it was like I found my niche.
But Reggie's mother would still need further convincing that boxing was the right kind of intervention to take him off the street.
He would pull on my sleeve and say, "Coach, when you gonna talk to Mama? I want to box." So me and Reg went over there. She came out on the porch, and she said,
"You're Coach Carter from the boys' club." And he was like, "Yes, I am."
He said, "You want my son to box?" I said, "Yes, ma'am."
"No, sir, I don't think so."
Coach Carter persuaded Reggie's mother to give him a trial, and within 2 years, he won over 90 amateur bouts. He turned pro and became a middleweight champion before his career derailed because of managerial disputes which cost him time, money, and recognition.
I don't look at it as a complete loss because it's never too late to turn things around.
Something he's learned from his father, who's put his own life back together over the last 6 years. For Reggie, his turnabout came last year in a dramatic upset victory over William Guthrie.
Belt holder in the light heavyweight division.
And with that, a heartfelt wish was fulfilled.
I used to always look out, and I would see 2 empty chairs. My mother and father were there for the most part.
I've always known this is something that he always wished for.
For Reg to have us there, we know the importance of it.
It's nice now looking out there knowing that, you know, through it all, I proved a lot of people wrong.
Tonight, Reggie Johnson has another hill to climb. Amid near unanimous expectations, he's about to get punched back toward the bottom of the boxing heap. But it's a long way from the 5th Ward to the spotlight. And to have made the trip and to have brought Mom and Dad with him is a satisfaction that can never be knocked out.